Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us today. It's a great opportunity for us and a great privilege. My name is Ioana. I am the editor-in-chief of DESCOPERឫ.ro, the biggest science website in Romania. And today we're speaking with Nikita Shtarkman, one of the scientists that helped create the most beautiful map of the known universe as of yet. So welcome. First of all, I want to ask you how long it took you guys to actually create this beautiful map that we can see today.
Sure. Thank you for the nice introduction. For me, I started working with Brice about 3 or 4 years ago, and we've been working on the map since then, but not the whole time. It was on and off. He's been working on this for, I think, about 6, maybe even more years on his own.
Wow, so it took you years to get to this point. And how many people were involved in the project? Just you and Professor Brice Ménard?
Yeah, but we do have to give credit that all the data was taken from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey. So we didn't gather any data. We just were lucky enough to find a way to use it.
Yes, of course. So as I understood, every dot is a real galaxy that scientists have data for, and the map also includes black holes found at the center of galaxies. Can you just walk us through the map a little bit and how it all came together?
Sure. I'm not like an astrophysicist, so I don't have the best information here, but basically every map is gathered by a telescope. Every galaxy is gathered by a telescope. And then the positions are stored in a catalog. And so what we do is we bring together all these different catalogs of different surveys that different scientists have used. And then we're able to plot these on a map. The black holes are at the center of the galaxy. You don't actually see that, but you see the galaxy. And then now using those positions, we can make a map of all of the known galaxies in the universe that we have. So that's basically what we did by just combining all those catalogs.
Perfect. So anybody who wishes to see for themselves this beautiful map can access your website, of course. However, we can see that we can go all the way to the edge of the observable universe. However, right before we get there, there is a small dark and empty space left. Can you explain what that is? Is it a part of the universe that we don't have any data for?
Yeah, those are called the dark ages. I'm not an astrophysicist, so I'm worried about answering questions like this. But as far as I understand, yeah, that's like a space of the universe that we don't have much data for. Mm-hmm. And it's right near because we're looking back in time, it's also near the beginning of time, basically. So it's, I think there's also less galaxies there. But I don't want to answer that without someone who's a full astrophysicist.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I had that suspicion, but I just wanted you to confirm it. So in my mind, I'm thinking that this new map of the universe can be a great way to teach students of all ages about space, galaxies, black holes, and the Big Bang. Was this one of the reasons that you and Professor Ménard decided to create this map?
Yeah, his vision really was to make something. I think a lot of astrophysics work or astronomy work is kind of difficult for the layperson to look at. It's mostly for other astrophysicists or astronomers. He wanted to make something that was for the public to enjoy and something that was simple to understand and something you could like hang on your wall and be proud of. And so that's kind of the goal that we went into it with. And I think that's partly why he chose to work with me, who isn't an astrophysicist, to make something like this.
That's great. That's beautiful. Thank you. In your opinion, I know you said you're not an astrophysicist, but you do have some perspective on this and having worked on this project. Do you think that maps like this one can help us get closer to finding alien life?
I think it's been interesting to see how people react to it because there is a kind of inevitability, it feels like. There's so many galaxies, but I don't know if you could like use our map to point out where the aliens are. But we'll see, I guess. Who knows?
Exactly. I mean, there are a lot of instances when, amateur astronomers found something with help from data from NASA or other space institutions. So I think the possibilities are endless. For me, the most notable aspect about this project is that we can see for the first time the span of the entire known cosmos. So considering the fact that the universe continues to expand, how does this map help us at this moment in time?
What I would say is I don't think this map will be used for research as much as it'll just be used as like a visual aid.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this map can open up any new avenues in terms of research or finding out about the expanded cosmos, because it's kind of it's an infographic of what we already know. Whatever new will be discovered could be, I don't think it will be discovered as a consequence of the map. I hope that people get interested in research by looking at the map, though. That's what I would say.
That seems to be the most predictable outcome of this project. I also have read that there is actually more astronomical data, but it was not possible to include all of it into the 2D map. Can you tell us how you chose which data to include?
Yeah, so that was actually one of the more difficult parts. Is there's a ton of data. There's like millions of galaxies that we could have plotted. What we had to do is work as editors and find a slice of that would look, it would describe the universe in like a beautiful and simple way. So a lot of our work was doing different slices, seeing what kind of data analysis we could do to each slice to make it look better and give it a better view. So this is about 200,000, which I'd say is like maybe a fifth or even less of the full data set. So that was kind of why it took so long, is trying to find the right piece of data to present to the public.
And of course, because the data is continuously updating itself, right? Researchers are continuing to find more and more galaxies, more and more information about exoplanets, and so on and so forth. So for a lot of people, the universe is a difficult concept to even comprehend. How can maps like this one help us to better understand the cosmos?
I look at this map and I don't think I understand anything better. Rather, I'm like more in awe of what people could do. I think it speaks to the kind of human capability. I mean, we've had maps always, right? You had the maps of like cities, and then you had maps of countries, and it's this like steady growing process of bigger and bigger maps. What this map shows me is like the distance that we've come, that we can see right to the beginning of time, basically, by just looking, using all of our telescopes. That's what's impressive to me about it.
Thank you. And regarding your experience and the process of creating this new map, what would be the main takeaway here? I mean, what do you wish people would have in mind when scrolling through your map on the website?
I want people to be curious. I think that's what I want the most from this map, and I hope that people are. It's kind of it invites curiosity, is at least what I hope, and kind of what we pushed for with designing it. We didn't want it to be something where you're bombarded with a ton of information that you don't really understand, which I think a lot of science visualizations can get into. Mm-hmm. So that's why the website is designed the way that it is. It's supposed to be very clean, and then if you're interested in seeing something, you click around and it should link you to more and more information.
Yeah, indeed, it's very interactive. The first time I saw it, I was actually very excited. The illustrations are amazing, and of course the explanations are just enough to, get you curious.
Thank you.
Can we look forward to an updated version of the map, or do we need to wait for more data?
In terms of the website, we've been updating it basically weekly. Me and Brice have been working on a lot of updates that we think are interesting, like a near galaxy view. We just added that so that you can click around and see the closer and further galaxies. In terms of like a genuinely updated map, like you said, I think the more data we get, the next iteration of this map will probably be done once there's like a vast amount of new data. But I don't know how much it will change what we already see, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. Can you tell us a bit about how you came to be involved in such a project? As you said, you're not an astrophysicist, but you are somebody with a considerable background in computer science and programming. So how did you get involved in this?
I got very lucky. I got an email for a position at the Hopkins astrophysics department as an intern. And this was during the summer. So I was looking for something to do, and the internship looked interesting, but it didn't say exactly what it was for. So I applied. And then when I got to the interview, once I realized it was mapping the universe, I like just confidently said, yeah, I could do that, even though I didn't know if I could even start to do that. That's kind of how I got involved. It was mostly a stroke of luck, I guess.
And probably a good mentor because Professor Brice Ménard is more into the astrophysicism, the astronomy part of it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Every meeting I learn like a new secret of the universe that I didn't know about.
So will you be continuing to map the universe, or do you have other plans at this point?
For now, we're still working on this project just because there's so much you can do. We released it, and then instead of like ideas stopping, more and more ideas came. But we also have other projects that we're working on, and I hope we'll get to release those soon at some point.
Can you give us a little glimpse of that? Is it still about mapping the universe, or is it something completely different? Or are you
It's
not allowed?
completely different. I mean, I think a lot of the work we do, it does have to do with mapping, but have any teasers for that work? Mostly just exploratory and ideas that we're working on.
I am just curious, did you include any data from the James Webb Space Telescope in this map?
No James Webb data was used. That mostly, yeah, we haven't used any of that. We just use SDSS, and all the images I think are from Hubble on the website, not James Webb.
So you said you're constantly updating the map. Do you think there will come a point where you will say, that's it, we're done, this is all we can do?
I think in some respects, yes. Like, I mean, we'll move on to probably some different projects, I assume. That's up to Brice, really, of what he wants to push on. But for now, at least, it's like there's a lot of things to do there and a lot of ways to improve, I think, the website. And that's really what we're pushing on now. So I can't really promise anything, but I think for now, we'll keep working on it.
And I'll definitely be, constantly checking the website. I think this is it for now. Thank you very much for speaking with us today, and I apologize for the technical issues at the beginning. Yeah, so this interview will be on the website tomorrow with the video, and I will send a link to you, even if it's in Romanian. I just want you to see the final product, and maybe talk about it, that you did an interview in Romania and Eastern Europe, because it's pretty exciting. Thank you for waking up early to speak with us, and good luck.
This was a great interview. Thank you very much.